The Pleiades connection. We have often spoke of your connection with Pleiades, and for a while we shall write about these attachments, for your brothers from the stars have great insight which we willingly share with you ones who are still grappling with the dark corners of memory. Your brothers from Pleiades have witnessed those of you who were and are unable to determine the truth, or were frightened when confronted with it. This serves no purpose for terrestrial man nor themselves. The fear should never be present in any manner, as all men hold truth within themselves, and must only know this to find it. A human may deliver himself from all manner of ignorance, if he generates the will to seek truth, and then does so. Wisdom is the light, and wherever the light flashes upward, their darkness and ignorance disappear. Ignorance is the essential darkness, and can only be overcome by the light of wisdom. Further, little brothers, wisdom is the mark of a human who has recognized the existence of spirit and works with and according to the creational laws. For wisdom and the spirit are two factors which react as one, much in the same way as the sun and the light of the sun. Both give warmth and both give light. Wisdom is the mark of the existence of the Spirit and disguises itself in the qualities of truth, knowledge, love, beauty, grace, harmony, and peace. You ones of earth desire to remain bound to passing time, but you cannot measure age by that which you perceived as passing years. The human may be very old as witnessed by the exterior perception, but this is only a passing state. A century ago, human was not old. In a century for this present moment, he will not be old. Only the physical body can age in any manner whatsoever, for the spirit only renews and grows in knowledge and experience. The spirit remains forever young and is never subjected to the appearance of age, for age is like youth and every other experience. It is only a passing state of being. You want to hold it all. You ones of earthbound attachments dream and ponder and wonder about your brothers of space. You ponder about whether or not they are out there, and if so, how can they reach you, and how can you reach them? You want ideas you can understand, and yet there is no mysticism regarding these states of actions and being, but only mystery, until the puzzle is accomplished. You ones of earthbound attachments dream and ponder and wonder about your brothers of space. You ponder about whether or not they are out there, and if so, how can they reach you, and how can you reach them? You want ideas you can understand, and yet there is no mysticism regarding these states of actions and beings, but only mystery, until the puzzle is accomplished. You want to know about propulsion systems and physical elements of construction of ships, and be reminded of how it is where you come from, so that you might be reminded of that which makes you lonely and homesick. You want to remember the whys and the hows, and you are impatient to move on, and yet you lock yourselves into the cement of that which you have created to shackle you to the physical experience. Now I could speak of the general of that which you consider physical, for your brothers move about in a most physical manner, for the most part having learned to overcome the compression of the dimensions as they differ. We of the etheric presence move by the projection of intent through thought. So I shall not go into that deeply at this writing, for we need to speak of your connections with your kindred. Now let us consider propulsion, for the largest number of questions come forth as, how can you travel such distances? How do your craft function? For traveling through cosmic space, a drive is necessary which surpasses the speed of light by millions of times. But this propulsion can only come into action when the speed of light has already been achieved. From that, it follows that a further drive is necessary, regulating normal speed up to that of light. This means that a starcraft or beam ship, as referred to by the Pleiadians, requires two drive mechanisms. First, the normal, which accelerates up to the speed of light, and then a second for the hyperdrive, as you might refer to it. A drive then which generates a millionfold and even billionfold the speed of light, thus producing the hyperspeed by which hyperspace is pierced and penetrated. This is a space in which the mass seems to increase in relationship to the speed attained. So, time and space simply collapse. And they become zero time and zero space. Now, this actually means that time and space cease to exist. Thusly, distances of numerous light years are traversed in a mere fraction of a second, with no lag of time. The actual time required to make a journey, say from Pleiades to Earth, is in the speeding up to light speed and the slowing down again at destination. In thought transference, there is no time involved whatsoever, except the split seconds required for disassembly and reassembly. The actual time of physical transference by craft is less than 10 minutes of your calculations for such a distance. You will not be given statistics of detail as to the function because you once have enough toys beyond your ability to control without cringing them into outer limits of the cosmos. And it is not in the best interest of the cosmic brotherhood that Earth human be given the ability to penetrate the cosmic spaces. You have all you and we can handle right on your orb in solar space. To great extent, however, many of the problems have been overcome by some of your Earth scientists, and the Soviets, as you call them, have developed great technology in space flight and solar exploration. The U.S. has done very well also, but you all utilize the wondrous technology to produce wars, and not grow in grace, peace, exploration for knowledge and brotherhood and love. In time, you will be given to solve the problems yourself when the sequence of growth becomes safe for universal existence. Your thrust systems, of course, will work on the basis of light pulses from light-emitting drives. Light-emitting drives work for normal propulsion and move the beam ships to nearby planets and a safe distance away from an orb, and then another drive is activated when the distances are great. We could refer to this second drive mechanism as a hyperpropulsion system, which surpasses time and space. It is a bit hard to describe these systems in Earth terms, for your language is different, and so are the labels given to such minerals as mercury, which is utilized, as well as the various programming crystals necessary for craft apparatus. And we refer to things such as tachyons, which are generated and harnessed in both drive systems with only differing magnitude and attitude. Pleiadians predominantly utilize disc-shaped craft, especially for long-distance travel because of the aerodynamic qualities. Once in motion, we ride a boundary layer, much similar to the principle applied to Tesla's bladeless turbine pump. The boundary layer, for brief explanation, is the tiny distance, let us say, between the wing of an aircraft and the atmosphere passing across the surface. There is a totally static area untouched by atmosphere itself to the surface. Once in motion, there's nothing that touches the skin surface of the vehicle. So the disc-like form, therefore, vouches the least resistance and also offers the largest surface, which rides the energy currents to enable the drives to be most efficient. Now, the gravity of gravity. This is a bit easier to discuss and further is no longer a secret to Earth scientists. The beam ship is completely surrounded by a protection beam girdle. Excuse me, ladies. This allows every interference to simply glide away without pushing. The same also occurs in the cosmos, which swarms with particles. Therefore, the beam protection screen functions to protect the ship against all influences and resistances with anything contacting the screen becoming pushed aside or disintegrated, as the boundary layer is spoken of above. All things which would otherwise penetrate or are resistance offering are simply diverted without evoking pressures in any manner. Resistance must be eliminated to reach sufficient speeds for distant travel. Now, removal of this protecting screen brings into play another very important effect, which is of great importance, especially to passengers and crew. The glide-away effect of the beam protection screen diverts the gravity and attractive forces, and the beam ship in effect becomes a microplanet which can travel at near light speed through any atmosphere without any risk at all. The gravity of a planet does not influence the beam ship. The passengers feel nothing abnormal, and there is no force levied against their beings, just as if they were on a home planet where the balance is adjusted by natural selection, and where the planetary gravity is in accordance with their anatomical capabilities. In the beam ship itself, the gravity, of course, is balanced to the passengers and is completely controlled. And when passengers on spacecraft from other worlds move in atmospheres alien to them, or on hostile planets with unbearable gravity and atmosphere, they must utilize controlled environment coverings, light aura shields, and transportable instruments and apparatuses to measure, maintain, and produce protection for the beings. Now, these things will be, and some already are, developed on your planet, but Earth human must develop behavior balance before all technical knowledge is allowed perfection. For as I stated prior, Earthman always utilizes the wondrous inventions and higher scientific knowledges in detrimental ways. As you develop, the menace is ever present of the Earth human exercising his technical knowledge, abilities, and inventions. Earthman always utilizes the wondrous inventions and higher scientific knowledges in detrimental ways. As you develop, the menace is ever present of the Earth human exercising his technical knowledge, the abilities and inventions for evil intent and power motives. This continues to happen over and over again, not only with Earth humans, but with other humanoid beings on Earth worlds as well. As man develops these techniques, which will allow him into the outer cosmos, he will not longer be allowed to continue this behavior without recourse. He will not be allowed to fly from planet to planet, intending to capture and control and become victor over another race. In cosmic space, many dangers of many proportions lurk where other cosmic inhabitants are not helplessly exposed to attack by other races. There could follow deadly defeats for the Earth humankind and complete slavery, which could equal the falling back into the primary existence. It could also be possible that the planet Earth could be completely destroyed because there are inhumane and hostile as well as humane races inhabiting planets, etc., in the cosmos, as well as humane and advanced races. Now, when Earthman desires to take his barbarous thirst for power, material possessions, and control into the cosmos, then he must count on his complete destruction. And no other creatures from other planets will come to his assistance, for he will be the aggressor, and such behavior will not be allowed according to cosmic order. Earth human, you must understand that his world is in transition, and herein comes the separation and sorting. Some will transcend the accepted dimension, but many will be sorted into other placements, while the Earth orb heals and renews. As Earthman moves into cosmic space, let it be known that there are other races who will not allow themselves to be under attack, exploited, or forced into servitude, as is usual behavior among the nations of your Earth. They will defend themselves with power, which will remain for a long time, infinitely superior to all technical means of the Earth human being. Where this is not the case, they may well be under the protection of other and more developed intelligences whose techniques approach perfection. Peace will be preserved, and death and destruction will not come to universal order, and this must be given as information to Earth human, for his spiritual wisdom is still poorly developed indeed. Earth man must face himself, that he and his forefathers have brought all of mankind and the earth herself to the brink of ruin, and prior to this current time has had to evacuate the planet in panic and flight on numerous occasions, to return in a primitive state indeed. There have been occasions in the cosmos when power-hungry and barbaric characters experienced in your solar system and roamed the spaces with limitless hate and unquenchable thirst for power. In one such instance, they destroyed themselves to the last man, and no creature survived the conflict. They destroyed their own planet with a vast explosion which ignited the very atmosphere, and nothing remained of that planet save the many thousands of asteroids which still today circle around your sun, as memorials to the deadly unreasoned ability of human creatures to follow the laws of God and the creation as laid down for guidelines. This planet was known by several names, one of which was Maldek, and another Malonia. This is not intended by the higher brotherhood to ever again be allowed. The system is still in upheaval after eons of interim sequence. You will end your cycle of experience in different manner, for the chaos is not acceptable. Your planet must unify, but it must unify in light under God and in balance and harmony with others of the universe. This new world order, global one world plan, is the most destructive of all unifications upon your planet, for it is birthed in evil intent, control, greed, and intent to depopulate the planet by any means necessary. Brothers, you have come a long, long way. Unfortunately, the journey has been, for the most part, in the wrong direction, away from God, and not toward His presence. The actions have caught up with you, and you endure the time of chaos and imbalance which threatens your destruction. May truth and knowledge flow in time to make the necessary changes to return to sanity. Man must return to spiritual balance and come into love within the highest definition. One cannot clothe love into words, for love is the same as bliss and joy, a state without a place or limit. It perishes, nor can it be shaped or manipulated into that which it is not. A spiritually developing person is a noble artist of precious spirit, filled with love, endowed with knowledge, logic, and above all, wisdom. His wisdom is an always present light, shining even into the depths of darkness. It is not as the light of day, which can be overcome by the darkness of night. It is ever present and surrounds all. As man comes into spiritual awareness, the wonders which abound are but the spiritual force exercising perfection. As all too often occurs, the human conceals a wonder behind a mysterious veil because he lacks logical explanation. Something unexplained is always a mystery in consideration. It does not mean that it is mystical, only unexplained and not yet understood. Now, the only thing limiting the progress of the earth human is the earth human himself. You are limited by time and space perception, and therein you differ greatly. For with the brothers of the cosmos, there is only the immediate, the now. You are limited by time and space perception, and therein you differ greatly. For with the brothers of the cosmos, there is only the immediate, the now. So be it. Let us begin to act in each moment as if it were unlimited and as if space were infinite, for so it is. Whatever the perceptions of the moment, know that it can be changed in the flickering of an eye if man but choose to do so. As we journey together into the cosmos, the bindings of the past experience must be left aside, and only the positive lessons learned be brought forth in habit and character. To change thine world, there only needs be one changed, you. Ponder it. May we walk in grace together this day. Come with me, Chelas, for I know the way. Salut. I move to stand by, Dharma, that you might join with your family. May there be renewal of intent and direction as we focus on our mission within the glory of what is. God has come forth in perfection, and because he is, so shall we become. Salom. Hat on to standby. Clearing frequency, please. Thank you for your service this day. Salut. And I'm going to stop at this point, folks. I wish you a very comfortable, relaxing evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Be sure to share your smile. Give those you love a hug. Do something kind for someone else. Love you. See you. Bye.